I got to 1919 Connecticut Avenue at the Washington Hilton Hotel, and it was pandemonium. I think there must have been 5,000 law enforcement officers there, and they had stopped traffic like 2 blocks away from the hotel, and I had to use my badge to badge my way into the crime scene. I was just so shocked and stunned. I mean, I was like walking around in a dream, and I'm thinking, how can that happen?
I was by myself in Washington, D.C. when the news came over the commercial radio, and I started towards the scene. I knew that this was a historic case. We were getting a lot of misinformation, and this is not unusual in a crisis. And we had a man from the White House persisted in telling me for about 15 minutes that they didn't want to put the news out yet, but Reagan really wasn't hit with a bullet. He had a heart attack, and they're working on this heart attack that he had. And then later in the day, we received some information back from the agents who were at the George Washington Hospital that he probably was going to die. But that's what happens at a crisis. There was a great deal of emotional involvement on the part of all of us. And the fact that we loved and respected Ronald Reagan was just an extra layer on top of that. My main concern was the memories of the shooting of President John F. Kennedy. We had been actually told in training school what a terrible disgrace the handling of that assassination was. The FBI, the Secret Service, the state and local police in Texas were all fighting with each other. And in my mind, I'm saying, this is important. We can't screw this up. We have to do it right. We involved the Secret Service in many of the leads, and we involved the Washington Metropolitan Police Department. So we continue to make this a cooperative effort, because even though we had identified the assassin, and an assassin was immediately arrested, as you know, we wanted to leave no stone unturned.
I actually took custody of the weapon from the Secret Service agent. Unfortunately, I don't remember his name. And once I gave him a receipt for the weapon, he turned it over to us, and we put it into a plastic envelope and marked it as, evidence. We set up a row of officers on our hands and knees, looking down at the sidewalk and on the street, looking for any possible piece of evidence, metal or anything, a bullet fragment or anything that might have been of value. A case of that magnitude, you had to do it. There could be no second guessing. We didn't want an incident of like, hey, there was somebody on the grassy knoll.
We backtracked wherever Hinckley had been, whoever he had been in contact with, where he had purchased the gun, what plans he had made. We discovered that he had shot the president and the other people, the other 3 victims, in an attempt to win the affection, win the heart of a movie actress, Jodie Foster. In backtracking it, we found that he had been tracking President Jimmy Carter, and he actually went armed several times to attempt to assassinate President Carter. It never quite worked out. He was stopped once on a weapons charge. We found out where he had purchased the weapon, and we pretty well established to our satisfaction that he was a loner, a total loner. The key lessons for me at the law enforcement level was the importance of knowing and working and having a good rapport with your counterparts. There was no problem, no turf wars between the agencies. The police, the Secret Service, and the FBI all worked together.